All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Dallas Moore Band right here on the Gumbo YaYa radio show. Crazy again, and they're off. They're part of the Soul record label posse. Before that, we heard Pure Grain, Hurricane, also part of Soul Records, and I'm a huge fan of Brian DeBuehler and Soul Records because of the quality of the artists that they put out. And he called me just before the holidays this past Christmas and said, I got this great artist that I'd like for you to hear. And because I'm a fan of what Brian puts out, I didn't even hesitate. I said, let me listen to it. But I got to be honest with you. You know, you kind of, when you like an artist and you like you know what they do, like Mr. Brian and them over there, you kind of go on the assumption that they're really going to be good. So when I listened to this song, this Christmas song by Mr. Craig Gerdes, I was surprised. I was surprised because, man, I really, really liked it. You know, sometimes you're afraid, but there's nothing disappointing about the artist, about his voice, and his new album, I did a write-up on it, is probably my favorite album to come out in quite a while. No offense to Rod Black and Dallas Moore and all those other guys. This guy's like, he's legitimate, y'all. If you're into classic country, if you are a Rodriguez, a Gilly, a Twitty fan, if you like Billy Joe Shaver, and if you like gritty vocals and you like, powerful writing, this is the guy, man. You got to get this CD. You have to go out and you got to get Craig Gerdes, Smoking, Drinking, and Gambling. And when I say that, go out and buy it. Don't do what Willie from Let There Be Country did. Don't go out and pilfer. Don't go and steal. He stole mine. But we're going to chat with him. We're going to chat with Craig Gerdes. I believe we got him on the phone right now. So let me go to the phone and open up the line and say, hello, who dat? You there?
Hey, good buddy. How you doing?
Hey, man.
I'm here.
I'm so glad to be chatting with you. Now, I told folks you kind of did a little quick shout-out during the holidays, and we played your song. I'm a huge fan instantly, and when I heard this album, I was ecstatic because it's everything that country music is missing, plus a little bit that is kind of held on through all this hip-hop, pop country stuff. So it's a great album, a great album. I don't have it in front of me because Willie done stole mine.
Hey, with friends like that, you don't need enemies, brother, right?
I'm telling you, man, it's amazing. That's how popular it is. And when I posted that we were going to be chatting with you, we got tons and tons of people. I mean, I think, the post reached over 5,000 people, according to, like, the Facebook stats.
Wow. Man, that's great. You're talking about it being real country, and, brother, that's the reason I left Nashville, because the stuff I was writing in my songs were too country, is what they told me. So that's the reason I got out of Music City and I drifted to Soul Records, man.
Yeah, well, that's not that's not why they told us. They gave us a different version of why you had to leave, but we'll leave that alone. So let's do this, man. Let's do this. You talked about the reason you left Nashville, and that song on there, "Redneck Sons of Bitches," is I think pays tribute to that, but. Why don't you go ahead, introduce yourself proper, like tell folks who dat, where you at, and then let's get into talking about some music.
Well, I'm Craig Gerdes, and I'm from North Illinois. A good buddy. Right now I'm sitting in my garage, and I'm looking out the window, and it's sleeting. The sleet's hitting the side of the window here. But I've always lived in north central part of Illinois, smack kind of dab 2 hours south of Chicago, and I've been playing songs and writing music most of my doggone life, and be sharing it. It's been great, man. Thank you for all the kind words, and this new record, buddy. I really appreciate it.
Well, listen, I'm glad that you put it out, because it's something, like I said, we've been missing. We wanted to hear for a long time. I apologize to ladies and gentlemen for this is a telephone interview here going on, so if it's a little bit poppy clicky, don't worry about it. You can always hear his music if you go out and buy it. Now, if people want to go out and get your music, where can they buy this at?
You go to my website, CraigGerdesMusic.com. It'll link you up to all the different outlets you can receive my music. Spotify and Apple Music and Amazon and whatnot. It's all out there, brother.
All right, so it's Craig Gerdes, CraigGerdes, Craig Gerdes. Now, I like the fact that you said you're from Central Illinois. What town exactly?
It's a little town that's not even on the map, brother, called Pattsburg, and I've lived here for a good long time. It's out in the middle of the country, kind of out in the middle of nowhere. I'm about 40 miles northeast of Peoria, Wilmington, Normal, in that vicinity.
All right.
2.5 hours south of Chicago. Yep.
Yeah, I got family in Southern Illinois. I like the fact you mentioned Carbondale in one of your songs, and I got family in Pinckneyville, Murfreesboro, Carbondale, DuQuoin. You ever go out to the DuQuoin State Fair?
I have never been to the DuQuoin State Fair. I've driven through DuQuoin, but that's going to have to be on my bucket list, man, the DuQuoin State Fair.
There you go. All right, so let's talk about this here. Smoking, Drinking, Gambling, that's your latest. That's your debut, no? Did you have another album out before? You did a Nashville album first, right?
I did do a Nashville album about 5 years ago, and it was just self-titled. It was Craig Gerdes, and it just wasn't a good picture of what I do. It wasn't me. It was that whole Nashville Machine thing, and I never got behind the record. I never really liked, so to speak, and that's the reason why I got out of Nashville. And so this would actually be my second record that I've actually cut. So, the old Southmore record, Smoking, Drinking, and Gambling. And it's, we're proud of this. We were able to get in the studio and basically cut this thing live, buddy, right there at the Soul Records studio. So it's got, all the imperfections in it from, basically going and sitting down and recording it live.
Well, you know what? You don't hear any imperfections in there, and it's my favorite, like I said, bar none, my favorite album in a very long time. And I'm not gonna lie to you, there's a lot of songs. Most of the songs on here, I'll listen to them more than one time, and like my favorites, I don't know, man. It's so hard, That the Rednecks is that's a nice little peppy song, kind of highlights, like you said, the Nashville experience, Smoking, Drinking, and Gambling. Again, that's an upbeat, fun song. I don't know. I'm having a hard time because I love on there. You Saved Me From Me. I love that. I'm closing the show with that song. I always play a song from my Yankee Bride at the end of the show, and that's going to be it right there. And Almost Takes You Off My Mind is another good one off of there. It's Slide Off Your Satin Sheets, the old Paycheck classic. So that's here's the other thing. I mean, you got Brian playing drums on here. You got Hall of Famer Jim Vest on there. And and Buddy Hyatt playing keyboards. It's the who's who of great musicians.
Yeah, we were really, really happy and honored. When I was writing for Jim Vest when I was in Nashville. That's how I got to know Jim Vest. I was writing for his publishing firm, and I always had it in the back of my mind when I cut this next record. So. And I knew Jim, of course, Woods Paycheck's a little player. And I just asked him one day, I said, Jim, I'm going to go and I'm going to cut my new record, and I want you to play on the Paycheck song. And I only thought that, he would play on the Paycheck song. And Jim don't play on too much. I think the last thing he did was an Alan Jackson record a couple of years back.
Yeah, Angels and Alcohol.
Yeah, right. So I was a pretty doggone good company, buddy. And he sat down at the steel, and he ended up playing on I think 5 or 6 of the 9 songs, with the exception of the steel work on the title track, which is Robbie Turner playing on Smoke and Drink and Gambling. The rest of it's old Vest back there on the pedal steel, and it just came together, and it gave it that different, with Vest back there on the pedal steel. It gives it that old school feel because he's old school, man, and that's what we wanted.
It does. And listen, man, Robbie Turner's no slouch, man. I mean, his credits are as long as your rap sheet. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, and that's what for the title track. I wanted something a bit different than what Jim was doing, because Robbie's got a different attack and a different approach, and so. We reached out to Robbie to play on the title track, and he went and he just banged it out and kind of did his signature thing on there, and we couldn't, he's a legend, played on Stapleton's Traveler album, and, all the stuff he did with Waylon, and
right.
Rest goes on and on. Yeah.
Well, let me do this. I have my favorites on here. Obviously, we can't play Redneck because of the potty mouth in there, but what we can do is what do you want to start with? Let's talk about. Do you want to start with the title track? You want to start with Good Old Days? Learn from that. Like what song do you want to start with? Let's talk about it, introduce it, and play it for the folks. So we'll shut up and play some music.
Yeah, let's do the title track. We just got done talking about Robbie Turner's Stellar Pedal Steel, and he comes out guns blazing, and him and I kind of do a back and forth type. I'm on Fender Telecaster all the way through the song, and he's doing his licks, and I'm doing my licks. And it's kind of a push and pull type thing. So yeah, let's do the title track.
All right. Well, you introduce it, and we'll put it on play, and tell people who you are. Tell them about what they're listening to. Tell them that you're on the Gumbo YaYa radio show. Why don't you play Mr. DJ? Tell them, introduce yourself, the song, and the show.
Well, I thank you all for listening. This is Craig Gerdes, and you're getting ready to hear the title track off my up-and-coming record called Smoking, Drinking, and Gambling right here on the Gumbo YaYa radio show, y'all.
If you let it, we'll make Memphis before the sun goes down. They all tell me it's good work if you can get it. One more day waking up in one more town, and I'm smoking and drinking and gambling, flying high day by day. But I'm paying the price with every roll of the dice. I'm rambling my young life away. Well, Austin and Houston and San Antonio, they're floating by me on the ride. Like an old freight train, hell, I just keep on going. I'll see New Orleans before the morning light. And I'm smoking and drinking and gambling, flying high day by day. But I'm paying the price with every roll of the dice. I'm rambling my young life away. just outside of Carbondale. We're rolling south and headed for Alabama. We're smoking and drinking and gambling, flying high day by day. But I'm paying the price with every roll of the dice. I'm rambling my own life away. Yeah, I'm smoking and drinking and gambling, flying high day by day. But I'm paying the price with every roll of the dice. I'm rambling my own life away. Yeah, I'm paying the price. It's just like a roll in the dice. I'm rambling my own life away.
Smoking, drinking, and gambling right here on the Gumbo YaYa radio show. That's basically how we do it over here, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Craig Gerdes on the phone. That's the debut. That's the title cut off his recent album, Smoking, Drinking, and Gambling. So, hey, Craig, you know what? This is what I was talking about, is that there is so much shaver in there that it's ridiculous, man. And I'm not comparing you. I'm just saying, it's not a comparison, because there's only one Gerdes, there's only one shaver. But what it does, it brings out, it catches that feel, that vibe, like what's that,
Man.
Fast Train to Georgia, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's a great comparison. I'm honored and humbled. Billy Joe Shaver was always a huge influence on me, writing, songwriting, and spiritual-wise. He changed, and I always say in my live shows, he's a man that changed my life forever, man. And,
Did you meet Billy Joe?
Somewhat compared to Billy Joe Shaver. I appreciate it, man.
Have you met him?
I did meet him when I was writing songs in Nashville. I went to a Billy Joe Shaver show, and I was actually home visiting my family in Illinois, and he was doing a show in Champaign, Illinois, and I went to Champaign's about an hour and a half from my house, and I went and saw the Billy Joe Shaver show, and after the show, he started talking to me like he knew who I was, and it was really kind of cosmic and very spiritual. Even to the whole show, he was like he was pointing and delivering a message to me. And I went up after the show and I said, "You're a messenger." He goes, "You know, don't you?" I said, "Yeah." I said, he goes, "Did you get the message?" I said, "I got it." He goes, "How's things going with you, man?" I said, "Well, not real good. I'm writing a songwriter in Nashville." He goes, "How's that going for you?" I said, "Not very well." I said, it's hard to get cuts. I said, because the stuff that I'm writing is too country. And I said, a lot of the big publishing firms, don't want nothing to do with, real country here in Nashville. He said, "I'll tell you what." He said, "You just keep writing them country songs, buddy." And he said, one day, he said, "I'll see you in Texas." And I said, "Because you ever think about going to Texas and getting out of Nashville?" I said, "Well, I always thought about that." I said, "But it's so much further away. Nashville was 6.5 hours, and Austin 16 hours. He said, don't worry about that." He said, "I'll see you in Texas." And brother, lo and behold, 3 years later, I was opening the show for Billy Joe Shaver outside of LaGrange. It was the strangest thing, but he knew those kind of things, and that's what he did for me. He gave me the confidence and the courage to keep writing country songs, and so I credit him with changing my life, man.
Little miracle, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It's funny.
Yeah, he's that way.
Yeah, we had Earlene Mandrell on the show last week, and she has a book out. And as soon as you started telling me this, it brought to mind, she has this album out called God Reigns Miracles, about little things like that had transpired through her life, where either she knew it in an instant or didn't know it till later, about how something, was changed her life, or was fitting and touching, and so like, you got to check out this book, man. I think you'll like it. It's God Reigns Miracles. But that was last week's interview. We got you on the phone now. This is the Gumbo YaYa radio show, 89.1 FM WFDU and the HD2 airwaves. We're speaking with Craig Gerdes, and he is as true as country gets right here, man. Just really good stuff. He's a good old country boy with a great classic country sound. We talked about the shaver and the other influences in there in the music. We just played the title cut, like I said, Smoking, Drinking, and Gambling. I have a few of my favorites. Who wrote? Are these co-writes? Because I don't. What did you write these? Did others write it? Like, let's go through. How much of this is Craig? How much of it is Craig and friends, and how much of it is just, something that somebody gave you that you loved?
Well, there's 9 songs on the record. I wrote 7 of the 9 songs. The one being the Paycheck cover tune, Fly Doctor Satin Sheets. The other one I did not write was your favorite, You Saved Me For Me, was written by Dallas Moore, my Soul Records label mate. Ironically enough, brother. And
well, you know what? I don't
learn from the best.
I don't like that one no more, because Dallas is a riggedy dog, man. I tell you what, I've known him for. Listen, I tell you what, he'll tell you he ain't. I mean, I debuted his music out here, introduced him to a radio station. And, I debuted his music. I played it. I had Brian on the program. I was doing a little AM radio station in my backyard, a little local, my local town. And started playing Dallas Moore, introduced it to DJ friends of mine. Lo and behold, next thing you know, he's playing Hill Country Barbecue. He's playing New York City. He's coming in to WFDU doing interviews with the other radio station. So, and can't get him to chat with Redneck, so I'm gonna call him out, calling him out. But yeah, he's he's great, man.
That. He's a good guy.
He is. But yeah, you know what?
He's been
I'm a little scared of him, so I don't know how much calling out I'm gonna do.
Old teddy bear. he's been a good friend to me though, Redneck, I tell you, and a big brother to me in the music industry. So I can't thank him enough. That's for doggone sure.
Yeah, I tell you, he not only is a great guy, now that he's a daddy. You said teddy bear. He's him and his bride are just two of the nicest people that you ever want to meet. So shout out to Dallas. But so those 2 songs you didn't write, the rest you wrote. Good Old Days is one of those songs that, see, when I was a youngin', I just turned 50 in October, and growing up, I was fortunate that my father was a child of the 50s, so, he introduced me to, all that great music from back in the day, plus all the classic country and stuff like that. So this song kind of brings me back to that time where you're sitting and you're listening, you're sharing songs with your dad, and just reminiscing about your dad reminiscing. I love that song. Now, so you wrote Good Old Days?
I did, yep, and it was basically, based on conversation. I found it, intriguing for my generation to listen to how he grew up, not having television hovering around the kitchen radio at the window was just right. They could pick up, the Opry. And my dad's favorite was, the great Hank Williams. And if the wind was right, they could pick it up on a Saturday night. And, the reference to Model A John Deeres that, they farm their farm with, Model A John Deeres and 2-bottom plows. And it's just how they grew up. It was just,
I'm telling you, that song paints.
Picture me sitting down.
Yeah, it paints great images.
Yeah.
It does. When I hear that, it sends me right back to that. Because my dad shared the same kind of stories, about tuning in, to the radio, and he grew up, like I said, in Southern Illinois. He got, the Opry when they could, and watching, when TV, made its debut, watching that, and he talked about all that kind of stuff and shared it, And it just really, as you listen to this song, ladies and gentlemen, it's almost like it paints a picture in your mind. It gives you, there's this movie that goes on, and it really brings you to a good place, a good place of, So I like the song. I tell you, the whole album is good. The whole album's good. Some of these songs are absolutely great, but the whole album's good. It's worth it. People, y'all got to go out and buy it. Tell people one more time again who that, where you at, where they can find your music. All right, Craig? And spell the name for folks.
But you can go to my website. It's CraigGerdesMusic.com, and it's CraigGerdes music.com. That's where you go, and we'll hook you up from there.
All right, perfect. So let's do this, man. Let's go ahead and play this for folks. So introduce it for folks, and let's take it from there.
All right. This is Craig Gerdes, and you're listening to a song I wrote about my dad called Good Old Days on the Gumbo YaYa radio show.
I said, old man, what'd you do for fun when you were a kid? Without all the luxuries growing up like I did, I said it must have been hard growing up on that old farm without those big city lights. And he just shook his head, and he smiled at me and said, it was tough, but we got by, 'cause sometimes we were lucky when the wind was just right. We'd pick up the Opry on that old kitchen radio on Saturday night, and I'd make believe I was in the front row, just singing along. In the crowd, all Sunday I was go crazy every time old Hank came on. And what I wouldn't give to hear the Carter family sing just one more gospel song. He said, I hate to admit it, son, you missed it. I wish the good old days weren't gone. He said, son, you know life was simple then. We worked from sun up to sundown and didn't mind the bed. And it was feeding the chickens, milking cows, mighty John Deeres, and 2-bottom plows. And he said, son, when I go back to New York minute, if I could only figure out how, 'cause sometimes we were lucky when the wind was just right. We'd pick up the Opry on that old kitchen radio. On Saturday night, and I'd make believe I was in the front row, just singing along. In the crowd, all Sunday that was go crazy. Every time old Hank came on, and what I wouldn't give to hear the Carter family sing just one more gospel song. He said, I hate to admit it, son, you missed it. I wish the good old days weren't gone. He said what I wouldn't give to be a kid again. In the summer of 51, he said, I hate to admit it, but son, you're the one that missed it. I wish the good old days were gone.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Mr. Craig Gerdes right here on the Gumbo YaYa radio show. His song Good Old Days off of his Smoking, Drinking, and Gambling CD. Right? That was the good old days too, I reckon. And if y'all don't know who Craig Gerdes is, y'all ain't listening to good music, I guarantee that much. And he's got website you can go to, Craig Gerdes, CraigGerdes, music.com. You get all the information, right there. There's a home page. You can check it out. It's got previews to the albums. It's got the news. It's got the tour, the bio, the store, the media, the contact. Speaking of the store, ladies and gentlemen, go out there and get this album and T-shirt. I want to look at that, man. I need me an autographed Craig Gerdes T-shirt and a new autographed CD. Let me go back to the phone here, man, and bring him up. Hey, Craig, how you are?
I'm doing great. We're gonna hook you up, brother. I'll give you
all right, so listen here. I'm gonna interrupt you real quick, and I'm gonna call him out. So I got you on the show as quick as I could because Let There Be Country. Willie was like, I loaned him the CD, and then he started chiming in. Oh, Craig, you should do my show. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to get him on here real quick. But we're a non-profit radio station, and we get generous donations from folks, and we send out premiums and things like that. So I loaned him a CD, and that autographed CD that you sent me, and you know what he done?
And you loaned it to him and didn't get it back. Huh?
It's in the mail. It's going out to one of his lucky listeners.
Oh, well, all right.
So he played that. But listen, I got a young man in here I want you to say hello to. His name is Brad, and Brad is he's a media student here at Fairleigh Dickinson University. He's a country music fan. He's engulfed in all the new country, and we're christening him into some of the old classic country. So I don't know if this mic is hooked up. Let's turn that on there and see if it's working. What number is that? Number 3? Say hi in there, see if it works.
How are you?
Hey, Brad. How you doing today, man?
Very good, thank you. How are you?
We're doing great.
Awesome.
Great.
So now Brad is not familiar with a lot of the classic artists, but so he asked if he could stop in, he could sit in and listen to the show. So are you familiar with Johnny Cash?
Very familiar with Johnny Cash.
All right.
Yeah.
And so Alan Jackson?
Of course.
All right.
Toby Keith, all those top people.
There you go. So nowadays, who are you listening? Is there a particular artist that for you that
biggest fan is like Luke Bryan.
Luke Bryan?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, he's very popular. So we're going to introduce you to some Craig Gerdes, and we'll get you into some Rod Black. I don't know how long you can hang out for.
Looking forward to it.
All right. But so this is Brad. And Brad, do you have a program? Are you doing a show here now?
Yeah, one today actually at 2 o'clock.
All right, so introduce your show to folks. Tell people who
It's called B-Leb's Top Country Hits. So it's been from the early 2000s to the 2018's top country songs.
What time?
2 o'clock to 3 p.m.
On?
WHD3.
All right, so WFDU HD3, so it's 89.1 FM. If you have satellite radio in your car, you just go to the FM station and put in 89.1 FM, and then it'll give you the option to scroll through the different HD, and he's on HD3, and I guess the website is hd3.wfdu.fm.
Correct.
And it's 89.1 FM. And what's the name of the show again? One more time, nice and slow.
B-Lev's Top Country Hits.
B-Levs. All right. So let's get back to chatting with Mr. Craig Gerdes over here. And we played a couple cuts off of here, good old days. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, if y'all are just tuning in, this is a great album. If you don't got it, you don't got good music. That's a fact. Is there a song in here in particular that Craig, that meant something more to you than the rest, or is there something?
I would have to say, almost takes my mind off you. It's really special to me. I wrote that about an actual event. Kind of from the outside, looking in, watching somebody's heart break, sitting at a bar. So it's really special to me, that particular tune.
Yeah, and you know what? I like that song. Well, lo and behold, look who's in here, man.
In the house.
Hang on. Let's spin this around here.
Where's the other mic? Oh, I see.
There you go.
You're using.
We got.
How you doing, man?
We got 3 mics.
My name's Willie.
Hey, so Craig, guess who's in here?
Yeah.
You're on the phone with Craig?
Yes, I am.
Awesome.
You thieving. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have in here with us right now. We have Willie from Let There Be Country, which is Saturday morning, 6 a.m. to.
I can't hear nothing. I don't have any headphones.
So
thanks, man.
We'll grab another set of headphones. So I told you, he went and he stole my Untangled.
Hey, Craig.
He went and stole my CD. He tried to hijack my interview, and then on top of that, he went and sent out to some lucky listener who they deserve it. They deserve it more than I do.
You know what? I put it on. I played one song, and these headphones ain't working. I played one song. I offered it as a premium. Not 10 seconds later, some guy calls up. He goes, "I'll give you the money." He goes, "Here's my credit card." He wanted this. I mailed it out this morning.
Is this not like I'm not joking, man. This is, for me, is one of the best. Probably it's my favorite album in over a year for sure, guaranteed, bar none. It's got like that. There's George Strait running straight through that last tune we played, The Good Old Days. I mean, how can you not hear that in there?
Can you hear Craig?
Wow.
Yeah, there's a little bit of delay because
I can't hear him.
he's Southern.
Are you there, Craig?
Yeah, I'm here.
Now I hear you.
Yeah, I'm here, man.
How you doing, man? It's nice to meet you.
I'm doing good, buddy. It's nice to meet you, too. I appreciate your support.
Oh man, I'll tell you, the first time I heard your CD, I was like, wow. I was really impressed, and unfortunately, there was a little miscommunication between me and Redneck about the CD, and so I offered it as a premium, and I played one song. And I no sooner got done playing it, and some guy called from Port Chester, New York, goes, "I want the CD." So,
well, that is awesome, man.
but now I owe him a CD because he autographed. He wanted it back, but I didn't think he did. So there was a miscommunication there. But yeah, great CD, and
we'll take care of that for sure.
hey, and I'm glad you're doing.
We'll get you guys hooked up.
I'm glad you're doing his show because I definitely want to get you on my show, Let There Be Country, on Saturday morning.
Now you're gonna go and advertise it. There you go. All right, so tell people the day and the time. Let's let people know when they can hear Let There Be Country. And by the way, Let There Be Country is the longest running country music program in the tri-state area. Over 40 years.
It's been going on since the mid-'70s.
Over 40 years. So
Yeah.
tell them about the show.
Staying power.
And I'm the fifth host. It was started by the late great Paul Bain, who did it for years. And when he was on the other side of the river at another college, And in '94, he got canceled. He brought it over to WFDU. And they were like, yeah, you can put your show on. And I started calling his show in '94. Never believed that I'd be a host of the show. Never thought I'd be a DJ, much less. But I love doing the show. It's on Saturday morning, 6 to 9. We cover all of North Jersey, New York City, 3/4 of Long Island. I mean, we got quite a range of listeners.
Yeah, so this is like a party, and this is what Gumbo YaYa is all about. So we got Willie from Let There Be Country in here. We got Brad from B-Lev's Country Hits, right?
Correct.
And just spin that around. So here's my question for you. If you were gonna, if we want to educate this young man on some classic country, because he's obviously a country music fan. While we were on break, he was naming all these artists that he likes and everything. Mm-hmm. So Craig, who would you say the 3 artists that he should go? Like you'd say, hey Brad, you need to listen to X, Y, and Z.
You know, my number one go-to is always Merle Haggard. He's probably my favorite.
There you go, man.
Artist of all time, from top to bottom, songwriting, singing, playing. It would have to be Merle Haggard. Of course, Waylon Jennings, and man, you know, we've mentioned Johnny Cash, and of course George Jones would be in there too. As you know, anchors of what I consider real country, and you go back to Hank Williams, because without Hank Williams and Lefty Frizzell, where would country be? So I just threw, I think, 5 or 6 out there at you, but Merle Haggard's always my number one, man. Always my number one.
Appreciate that advice. Thank you.
So, you know what? We were talking about Merle Haggard, and this Almost Takes My Mind Off You kind of runs through, is like one of those ballads, one of those Haggard ballads that really brings it in there, And I was listening to it before, and there's a few other songs in here that I was thinking, oh, why does this make me think of Johnny Rodriguez? So before we got interrupted,
as he's looking at me,
you're talking about. Go ahead and let's just repeat if you would please, what you were saying about Almost Take My Mind Off of You, and then we'll introduce yourself, the show, and the song, and we'll give that a listen. We'll give folks a listen to that.
Well, I write songs. I try to paint a picture, kind of like Christopherson would paint a picture when he writes. He's one of my favorite writers. And I was sitting in a bar and watching a dear friend of mine's heartbreak over a daughter that she lost. And I basically wrote that song about that event. So it's true heartbreak, and it's real heartbreak. And this is probably my favorite song off the record. It's called Almost Takes My Mind Off You. This is Craig Gerdes on the Gumbo YaYa radio show.
Crowded bar, it's getting late, and I guess I should go home. There's people everywhere, laughter and air, but somehow I feel so alone. I'll be here, closing time, hiding from truth. There's a smile on my face, my heart's as empty as this bottle I'm clinging on to. I hang out in this old bar till they shut the lights down, and it's time for me to go. My last dollar in the jukebox, and I play from Gasson, sing along to Chisel and Stone. And I talk about you most every night. The bartenders know you by name. They let me make believe while they're pouring me another drink. And they watch me slowly waste away. But it helps take my mind off things, at least for a little while. Then your memory comes creeping back in. Thoughts of you start all over again. Yeah, this bottle's got its hooks and me, the same way you used to do. But it helps take my mind off things, and every now and then it almost takes my mind off you. Down the street, and I meet a young couple so in love. They're holding hands the way we used to do. I just smile at them and move along. I'm nobody without you. That's what I've become. Just a lonely face on an empty street, trying like hell to hold on. Helps take my mind off things, at least for a little while. Then your memory comes creeping back in. Thoughts of you start all over again. Yeah, this bottle's got its hooks and me, same way you used to do. But it helps take my mind off things, and every now and then it almost takes my mind off you. Yeah, this bottle's got its hooks and me, the same way you used to do. But it helps take my mind off things, and every now and then it almost takes my mind off you.
Still got them online here. Let's bring up these microphones. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the Gumbo YaYa radio show. And that is Mr. Craig Gerdes. We have him on the line. Almost Takes My Mind Off of You, off of his new album, Smoking, Drinking, Gambling, Cussing, Fighting, whatever. So, Craig, say howdy one more time again.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I'm in here arguing with Willie over this. I was like, man, I hear Gilly in there. He goes, I don't hear Mickey Gilly in there. You know, You know,
I just didn't. I mean, but that's just me.
it's there's nothing wrong. There's nothing bad about that song right there. I guarantee you that is.
There's nothing bad about the whole CD. I mean, it's a good album.
I don't know, that one Dallas Moore Road, I'm kind of iffy on.
That's a good one. That's for doggone.
All right, so remind people who we're talking to, if you would, please.
Say that again.
I said for you to remind folks who we're talking to here on the show.
This is Craig Gerdes. I'm tuned in with you out there on the East Coast, calling in from Illinois.
Now, are you on tour? What's going on? Where can people see you? We know they can find you at CraigGerdesMusic.com, but when you come into New York?
You know, that is on my radar, and we're going to try to get out to the East Coast as soon as possible. We're doing our best. We got the smoke and drinking and gambling tour going on, and we have not played the East Coast yet, so that is on our bucket list for sure.
All right, so next week is what I heard.
Well, we're gonna have to get your name out there. You come on my show, and we'll spread your name out.
Might as well. Go ahead, Brad. You jump in here. You get
Come on my show also.
All the exposure you can get, man. That's
That's right. And there's nothing wrong with exposing yourself.
I know there's one guy who's happy as heck he's got your CD. He jumped on that in a heartbeat.
And there's one guy's mad as hell. So.
Yeah. Well, when you get another autographed one, I'm gonna have to get one.
I'm getting a shirt. Hey, listen,
you got it.
I can get you one. Willie. I can get you a Craig Gerdes CD and a shirt. All I need is your credit card, and we'll go to CraigGerdesMusic.com.
What do you mean I'm maxed out?
All right, so we got a few folks in here, and Brad, go ahead. Tell people one more time again what day and time your show is on, and what you're doing on the program.
So my shows are from Mondays from 2 o'clock to 3 p.m. on WFDU HD3. And what I'll be playing is like the top country songs from the 2000s to now the 2018s. Luke Bryan, Toby Keith, all the top country artists.
Do you have a name for your show?
It's called B-Lev's Top Country Hits.
The what?
B-Levs,
B-Levs.
like I guess
Okay.
First initial, last name.
Correct.
There you go.
You gonna cut a promo?
Yeah, I'm going to try.
Well, you got to cut a
you
promo
go.
so we can play it.
We'll get. Hey, we'll get Craig Gerdes to do one. Craig, we'll get him to say, "Hi, this is Craig Gerdes. You're listening to B-Lev's. What is it?
Top Country Hits.
B-Lev's Top Country Hits on WFDU." Go ahead, Craig. Say that for me. And
Is it? What is it? E-Lev?
Yeah, like Levinson, like Brad Levinson or Brad Levy. So B-Lev's Top Country Hits on WFDU.
This is Craig Gerdes, and you're listening to B-Lev's Top Country on WFDU.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Well, I'll send you that. So we got Craig Gerdes in
Play
here.
that between tunes.
We're talking about his new album, and we're coming up to the top of the hour. So what I want to do is let's see what we got time for here. Yeah, Satin Sheets. So I'm gonna play one more tune by Craig. It's a country standard. We'll come back. We'll say our goodbyes, and we'll wrap it up with Craig. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Craig Gerdes, his version of "Slide Off of Your Satin Sheets," right here on the Gumbo YaYa radio show.
What a beautiful mansion he built you. Splendor, oh, you got it. Whoa, whoa. And yet, with all of that, you're still not happy. 'Cause every time he's gone, I get your call. Slide off of your satin sheets, so living here on soft man. You know where to find my door, and I know what you're crying for. Slide off of your satin sheets, so living here on soft.
All right, let me put my headphones back on here. And we got, that was Slide Off Your Satin Sheets, the Paycheck hit, Mr. Jim Vest on steel guitar there. And that's Mr. Craig Gerdes. Craig, you still there? Oh, hang on. He is, but let me unmute him. And there you go. We got you back right now. So say hi one more time again to Willie and Brad over here.
Hey, Willie and Brad. Nice to meet you both.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you too. And I got to elaborate on what you said before. Merle's my man too. I love them all, but he's my favorite.
Mine too, yeah.
What's your
Great
favorite
minds,
Merle
great
tune?
That's a hard one to say, but I always go to Natural High, written by Freddie Powers, because it makes me think of my wife. That other one, you stayed with me, thick and thin. You watch me lose, you watch me win. I love that song.
You're right. They're all good, but my favorite is Twinkle Twinkle Lucky Star. I love that song.
Yeah.
That just stands out.
Yeah.
I like Rainbow Stew.
That's a good song. That's good, you know. There's not a bad Merle tune.
So we're going to have to educate. No. Yeah, you know, this is what I like about what I do. A lot of great artists like yourself out there, and Brad's he's over here taking notes. He's writing down these names as quick as he can. So, which is great, you know what? Because it shows not only does he love music, but I think you're going to do well. You love your craft, and that's good. You know. Now, are you involved with Last Honky Tonk music series?
No, I'm not. With everything that I had going on with the release of the record, I just, started touring heavily, and I got away from that. So I would have to say, no, I'm not. No. I
don't know if there's three more powerful voices in country music, in any music today than Bridget London, Jill Kinsey, and Brooke Falk, and they're part of the Charm Project, and I know Dallas Moore. That Last Honky Tonk music series is great. Basically, what it is Last Honky Tonk music series picks one venue in every state to host a music series, and basically the artists come there and they play that venue on a circuit, on a tour, and they take all these great independent artists who come there, and they'll play for free. They're out there supporting and promoting, independent country music, and it's an incredible collection of artists. I know Dallas Moore has played it. I know Josh Morningstar and all these other folks out there. And I was just curious if you had a chance, because these women, their voice, they're powerful singers. They're amazing singer-songwriters, artists. I play them on my show all the time. So Brad, check them out. Just go through my playlist and you'll see that they're regular on there. Unfortunately, Willie's listening, so I'm probably going to lose them to...
You take one CD, and, it's amazing.
Nah. It's good stuff.
Oh, man. Boy, I gotta get an autographed CD from you, too. And that's another thing. It wasn't autographed to you. It just said Craig Gerdes 2018. So I thought you just wanted that other CD back, and I was like, "Oh, this is a premium. This will go quick."
Nah, you know what? This is yeah, and that's the beauty of. That's what it's for, man. That's actually what it's for. So support this station. WFDU is not-for-profit stations. Run it. All the DJs volunteer their time. So, and we couldn't do what we do if great artists like yourself, Craig, didn't do what you do. And your success is our reward. So we thank you so much for being on the show here, man. We appreciate it.
Hey, I'll be messaging you on Facebook. I'll get you to do an interview in the coming weeks, if that's all right with you.
It was great meeting you also, Craig.
Sounds great.
All right. So you have a huge fan base here in New York. And so do me a favor one more time. Just tell people who you are and what they're listening to.
This is Craig Gerdes, and it's been a pleasure being on the Gumbo YaYa radio show with you all this morning. I can't thank y'all enough for everything that you do for our kind of music. So I appreciate you guys.
It's nice talking to you.
Much.
All right. So listen, this is what I'm going to do. I know you're a Waylon Jennings fan, and I'm a huge fan of, like I said, these powerful artists like Miss Bridget London. I'm gonna play a Waylon Jennings song for you by Miss Carter Robertson. And for those of y'all don't know, Carter Robertson was the first female in Way Moore's Outlaws. She was his backup singer. He just pulled her up on stage one day and said, "Come on, sing this song with me." And from then on, she was Waylon's go-to.
Wow.
So Carter Robertson, she's an amazing singer, amazing artist.
Well, I didn't mean to interrupt you. That's how, I don't know if you know the story about Merle Haggard and Lefty Frizzell. He was 13 years old. Lefty pulled him up on stage and said, "I want you to sing with me." And he was just in the audience. And he started singing, and that kind of like led to his career. And they had a trivia question here on WFDU when I was not yet a DJ. They were giving away concert tickets to Merle Haggard, and that was a trivia question. I called right up because I knew the answer, and he goes, "Yeah, you're the first one who got it right." And I won ticket to see Merle Haggard. It was The Last Breed with Willie Nelson, Ray Price, and Asleep at the Wheel. It was awesome.
Yes, I've got that DVD, man. I did not know that about the Lefty Frizzell, Merle Haggard thing, man. I just learned something new today. Thank you.
Yeah, he was 13 years old, just hanging out, and Lefty Frizzell spotted him, picked him out, and said, "Come up here and sing a song," and he did. And I get that pretty much. That was when Merle decided he wanted to be a singer. So
that's heavy.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Well,
Good
Merle
stuff.
sounds a lot like Lefty in some songs. I mean, if you ever listen to them both, they got that. Some of the songs have that same sound,
Yeah,
But,
absolutely.
Yeah, Lefty, Saginaw, Michigan is one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, great song.
All right, speaking of great songs, I said we were gonna do a song for you, but since I can't shut you up, we're gonna play one more song here. Let's tell us about Almost to Alabama. Introduce it for us, and then we'll give that a play, and we'll let you go. So, how's that sound?
That sounds great. I wrote this song when I was playing shows down on the Alabama-Florida line, and I was sleeping in my car on the Florida side of Alabama in the parking lot, and I would wake up in the morning and I would see this big sign that said, "Welcome to the beautiful sweet home Alabama." And my wife, she called me on the phone. She goes, "How's things going?" I said, "Well, it's going pretty good. I'm playing the shows, sleeping in my car." I said, and I'm looking at this sign every morning that says, "Welcome to beautiful sweet home Alabama." I guess I'm almost to Alabama. And I got the idea for the song, and I wrote it on the way back to Illinois, watching the sun come up. So this is Almost to Alabama on the Gumbo YaYa radio show.
This twist and turn and winding road took me so far from my home, I can't go back. The mistakes I made along the way, burning bridges day by day, just running from the past. I lay my head down, drift off to dream. Every time I close my eyes, this is what I see. I'm almost to Alabama, and I'm so close I can see the sun sitting on the pines, and I'm holding you in Alabama, but only in my mind, but only in my mind. I take a lift down Coal Bank Road, turn on the radio, and they play our song. And even though it's only make-believe, I can see you sitting next to me, and you start singing along. For just one moment, everything is right, and all I can do is to wish that you were with me tonight. 'Cause I'm almost to Alabama, and I'm so close I can see the sun sitting on the pines. And I'm holding you in Alabama, but only in my mind, but only in my mind. If I could only turn this car around, I'll be on my way, things would be okay, 'cause I'd be southern bound. 'Cause I'm almost to Alabama, and I'm so close I can see the sun sitting on the pines. And I'm holding you in Alabama, but only in my mind, but only in my mind, but only in my mind, in my mind, in my mind, in my mind.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Almost to Alabama by Craig Gerdes off his new album, Smoking, Drinking, and Gambling. We got Craig on the phone now. We're going to let him go. We're here in the studio. This is the Gumbo YaYa radio show, WFDU HD2 airwaves, 89.1 FM. And we have Brad from B. Lev's Country Hits in here. That program's 2 p.m. on Mondays.
Correct.
And we have Willie from Warwick. We got Wild Willie here from Let There Be Country, which is 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Saturdays. Is that right?
That's right.
All right. So so make sure that y'all tune in to something else. Let's go ahead and say hi and bye one more time to Craig. Hey, Craig, man, I appreciate you joining us here on the program. We kept you way too long, but we're huge fans of yours. We love your music, and we love you as a person, man. So thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and I had a great time chatting with y'all. It's been a pleasure. Can't thank you enough.
And before we let you go, let's just mind our manners. I know that this album isn't a solo endeavor here, so let's introduce folks proper, like give credit where credit's due. Anybody on the album, any contributors that you want to give a shout out to, guitar, that kind of stuff?
Well, we'll go right back to the Soul Record studio with Brian DeBruler, was playing drums on it, and Tony Nasser playing a bass on that, and of course our pedal steel players, Robbie Turner and Jim Vest, and there was Buddy Hyde on the piano, and Larry Franklin on the fiddle playing. So we kind of brought it all together, and I can't thank all those guys enough. And of course, my wife Janelle for everything she does, and she's my rock for doggone sure. So.
All right, Craig, I appreciate it, man. We're going to let you go now. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Craig Gerdes here on the Gumbo YaYa radio show. Craig, don't forget, man, hug your friends, kiss your family, thank the Lord, and y'all keep listening to the Gumbo YaYa radio show. Now we got some Carter Robertson coming up, going out to Mr. Craig Gerdes. He's a Waylon Jennings fan. So y'all give this a listen. We'll be right back. Jesse Coulter, Carter Robertson.
When the blood-curdling scream of the fear in my vein pierces the darkness, circling my brain, when the pain in my soul is too great to explain, I reach out for you. I'm calling your name. Lord, please have mercy on my troubled soul. You keep me together when there's nothing to hold. Lord, please have mercy. I know where to go when the temptation's over. Please carry me home. Carter, you take this one. The jewel of deception rests in the crown upon the head of the tempter, whose hand holds me down, living so carelessly is easy to do. But now that I'm I'm running to you, yeah. Lord, please have mercy on my troubled soul. You keep me together when there's nothing to hold. Lord, please have mercy. I know where to go when the temptation's over. Please carry